you as a rider, you have 4 different zones in your body. Right? Zone 1 is from here to here. Zone 2 is from here to your hip. From the hip to the top of your head is 3, and this is zone 4. Okay? Each zone works independent of the other, but yet together is in like a marriage to make it all work. And it's always changing, right? The combination, the intensity, the length that you apply to each zone changes to accommodate what you need to go into your work. Make sense? So I'm not going to say what you did was wrong, right? Because maybe the way the horse is going, you need to just do that. But
you don't have the guts.
What if you're going here to the right, and your horse is like this and really crooked, and you just did this with your outside rein? Would that necessarily help the situation? No, not really. So then you kind of get into that, okay, what's going on with this horse and his body, and what do we need to change to make it right? And that's what you're having. Okay. So, very first thing is, we're going to think about the good leg and hand connection. And that when you put your leg on, you want the horse going around. Why do we want a horse going around?
Because if you have a horse going around, then it shows other people that you have complete control of them.
You know, I've seen people do an entire Grand Prix with the horse's head up in the air like this. It can be done. It's actually more than that. People and horses have a common enemy. Do you know what that is? Gravity. Gravity. When you see an old horse in the field, how do you know it's an old horse in the field? Sway back, right? Look at that big old sway back, because gravity's pulling everything down, right? So when we're asking the horse to come around, what we're doing is fighting gravity. We're saying to the horse, push up this way. Right? So at the end of the day, what that does is it creates a horse that has fewer arthritic problems. Right? You don't have arthritic problems over the top on the spine. Right? And when you have a horse that's coming around, you can distribute the weight more evenly amongst all 4 legs, which means you're not putting any more wear and tear on one set of joints than another. At the end of the day, that translates into you being able to ride your horse for more years with fewer vet bills. Yes. Yeah. Right? So when you're thinking about a horse coming around, it really is pure self-preservation. Right? So you're thinking about that horse coming up in your back and kind of lifting here and looking around the knee. But it implies that the whole horse is down. And it does give you more rideability. Right? It also puts a horse in a place where you can distribute the weight more evenly. So you're not putting more stress on one set of joints than another, but it also puts you in a place where you can manipulate that balance and put more on the hind leg if you want. Right? And so that's why we do it. Plus it looks good. But you know what's funny? If you ever watch horses like top dressage horses that were like at the Olympics during the 30s, they don't move or look anything like the horses today. Not anything like it. They're almost this way kind of hollow. And now we've taken it a whole lot further with all the instrumentation and made it, instead of more of an art, we've made it more of a science as to how to make a horse perform the way you want. And so when you look at even the performance level, I mean, it's amazing. When I first started, I looked at Robert Dover, and he had a horse named PSR Romanico, and that was like the top horse in the country. It's kind of been like a piece of crap now. I mean, they wouldn't even look sideways at it. It wasn't anything.
But why when dressage is so old? Isn't dressage fairly old? I mean, isn't it old? So why?
I mean, it is sort of old, except in competition.
Except in competition.
Yeah. I don't know if you're aware of it, but every country that hosts an Olympics gets to petition for a new event in the Olympics.
Oh.
And when we had the Olympics here in Atlanta, they made reining. They petitioned to make reining an Olympic sport. And when they had it in Seoul, it became Taekwondo or kickboxing. So it wasn't until the 1930s, it was 1932 or 34 Olympics, that actually Sweden had the Olympics, and they petitioned dressage as one of the events. And it wasn't, you couldn't even be an Olympic dressage rider unless you were in the military. And then at the end, you had to do 5 changes on a line, but they couldn't be ones, because that was too much circusy. And you couldn't do piaffe and passage because that was circusy. And at the end of the test, you had to go over 3 different jumps. That's That's how you finished your dressage test. You go over 3 different jumps. So that was the first sort of Olympic thing with dressage. So the competition has changed a lot. It's changed a lot. How we want the horses to go and what we look at as acceptable. And it changes even from year to year because you'll look at how trendy it is. One year they're saying they want a bunch of bend and pass and shoulder in, and the next year they don't. You do too much bend and so it becomes very, very trendy. So it changes. It's tough for me as a trainer. So let's go ahead and pick them up.